In today's MTG box analysis, we're going to review the set distribution versus the cards that we saw in this box. We'll go over the coverage metrics, duplication, we'll take a look at the current value of the set, the value that we saw in this box, and we'll close it out with a summary and comparison of the collector booster boxes opened thus far on the channel. If you want to go deeper into the analysis and see all of the metrics for this box plus at least 80 others, simply join the channel at the Give Me the Data level. Let's start things off with a look at the cards that we saw in this box. This chart shows the non-foils in green, the foils in orange, and the set in gray as the baseline. As you can see, the only non-foils that we saw were in retro frame and borderless. This box featured 34 retro frame and 14 borderless cards. In the foil space, we saw a variance of 11 cards from the primary colors of Magic, with white having 11 cards from the main set and blue having twice as many with 22. We also saw 30 foil retro frames and 6 borderless. Moving into coverage, in the non-foil space, we saw 28 unique retroframe cards giving us 20% coverage of the category. We also saw 14 of the 45 borderless cards for 31% coverage. In the foil space, we saw 118 unique cards, which gave us 26% coverage of the entire set. Among the primary colors of Magic, our highest coverage was a tie between blue and red, with 43% of each color making an appearance in this box. Pivoting to coverage by rarity, in the non-foil space, we saw 36% of the commons and 23% of the uncommons we were eligible to see. We also saw 18 rares for 22% coverage and 6 mythics for 16% coverage. In the foil space, we saw 48% of the commons, 23% of the uncommons, 21 rares for 15% coverage, and 3 mythics for 5% coverage. In total, these 12 packs contain 39 rares and 9 mythics. In the previous collector booster box that we opened on the channel, the only cards that were duplicated were some of the basic lands. In this box, 15 non-basic lands were duplicated as well as 5 basic lands, which means that 20 of the 180 cards were repeats, giving this box a duplication rate of 11%. Before we get into the value that we saw in this box, let's baseline with a look at the value of the Dominaria Remastered set using pricing from January 21st, 8 days after release. Currently, the set features 29 cards valued over $10, 19 cards valued between $5 and $10, 53 cards valued between $1 and $5. The remaining 355 cards in the set are valued less than $1. Here's a look at how the value of the Dominaria Remastered set is trending over the past week. These two charts show the values of the set by dollar range using non-foil pricing. The chart on the left shows the total dollar amount by category, and the chart on the right shows the total number of cards by category. Since January 16th, the set has dropped about 7%, from $1,233.43 in total value to $1,150.57 in total value. This is a net negative of $82.86. However, the number of cards valued over $10 has actually increased by 3, which has increased the value of that dollar category by 6%. Overall, I'm quite impressed with how this set is doing a little over a week after release. I'll continue to report on this metric as the weeks progress so we can all watch how the set value stabilizes. Alright, let's now take a look at the value that we saw in this box, starting off in the non-foil space. For this chart, I have broken down the retro foils by color and category so you can see the distribution a little bit easier. In this box, we saw 6 big hits. We saw the borderless Mystical Tutor valued at $10.93, the borderless Worldly Tutor at $13.10, the retro frame Yawgmoth Thran Physician at $18.55, the borderless Enlightened Tutor at $19.33, and then the borderless Yawgmoth Thran Physician at $21.76. And who can forget the biggest hit of them all, the borderless Force of Will at $75.21. The box also featured 2 retro frames valued between $5 and $10, as well as 3 retro frames and 4 borderless valued between $1 and $5. The remaining 33 non-foils in the box were valued less than $1. In the foil space, we also did pretty good, seeing 4 cards valued over $10. They were the retro frame Gamble, valued at $10.99, the borderless Mystical Tutor, valued at $25.63, the Sylvan Library from the main set, valued at $31.20, and finally the Enlightened Tutor in foil borderless, currently valued at $32.58. We also saw 1 foil valued between $5 and $10, and 21 foils valued between $1 and $5. The remaining 106 foils were valued less than $1. So how did this box perform? Well, I purchased this box from Card Kingdom for $289.99 during their pre-release window. This collector booster box contained 12 packs with 15 cards each, allowing us to see 180 cards. Currently, the 12 tokens that we saw are valued at $6.57. The 34 non-foil retro frame cards have a market value of $49.48. The 14 borderless non-foils are valued at $151.44. The 96 foils from the main set are valued at $80.46. And the 30 retro frame foils, including the 12 basic lands, are valued at $46.88. Finally, the 6 borderless foils that we saw are valued at $66.05. This brings the grand total actual market value of this box up to $400.88, which is a gain of $110.89 over my purchase price and equates to a return of 138%. Now, for those of you just interested in cards valued over $2, the numbers look like this. In total, we saw 27 cards valued over $2 in this box, and they have a current combined market value of $332.49, which accounts for 83% of the total box value. So how does this box stack up to the one that we opened up last week on the channel? Let's find out. Box 1 contained 2 additional retro frame non-foil cards than today's box. However, today's box did make up for that with 2 additional non-foil borderless cards. Both boxes contained exactly 96 foils from the main set, which is to be expected. Box 1 contained 1 additional retro frame foil over today's box. However, again, this was made up in today's box by seeing 1 additional foil borderless card. From a coverage perspective, Box 1 was much better in both the non-foil and foil due to the higher duplication rate in today's box. Box 1 contained 1 less rare than today's box, but it made up for it with 1 extra mythic. Now let's compare the 2 boxes from a value perspective. I have updated all of the prices for every single card in Box 1 so that we are doing an apples-to-apples value comparison as of January 21st using market pricing. Today's box saw slightly more value in the token category with $6.57 in total value. Today's box also saw more value in the retro non-foil, the borderless non-foil, and the main set foil categories. In the retro frame foil and borderless foil categories, Box 1 bested today's box. If you recall, I purchased Box 1 from my local game store for $274.99, and today's box cost me $289.99. As a reminder, here are the totals for today's box. The grand total for Box 1, using today's market pricing, currently sits at a respectable $348.85, and Box 1 still netted me a gain of $73.86 over my purchase price, which is a return of 127%. Overall, today's box is still the winner. What will the next collector box have inside? Be sure to subscribe to the channel to find out. Until next time, do something amazing.